it went well. I think we didn't have like any bug during the challenge. So I mean, just one, but yeah, it went well. Surprisingly well.
We had 2,000 young kids last year, and we're aiming for about 3,000 this year. So wish us good luck. So any tips for us, we would definitely take it. But yeah, obviously the audience is a bit younger, but it's always fun, And we have a lot of Capgemini mentors who learn about this and join us as mentors as well, which is always great. Because you guys are global, so we always like to have, mentors in different locations around the world, and Capgemini is perfect for that because I think you're in how many countries? I can't remember now, but I think it's increasing.
I think we're live.
Not yet. I think we have a couple of minutes.
No, I did see a pop-up which says that this webinar is live streamed. So I don't know if it's
yeah, we are not live, but I'm just getting prepped for the live stream.
Okay.
So can everybody just be mute so that when the meeting is recorded, you can hear. I'm just prepping the live stream.
Yeah, Xiao told me we are live.
Yeah, we are live.
All right. Hello, everyone. We are live, I'm being told. So it's really, really great to be here today. So welcome to the Teens in Action Forum. My name is Elena Sinel. I'm the founder of... Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Teens in Action Forum. My name is Elena Sinel. I'm the founder of Teens in AI, and I will be hosting today's session. Super thrilled to be here with you all today as we are going to explore some really exciting topics. The sessions called Green Agents of Change, Agentic AI for Sustainable Future. So as you can imagine, there are quite a few topics that we're all passionate about here at Teens in AI. So it's, of course, the key word is agents, whether it's agents of change or agentic AI. But the theme is green, it's climate. And as you know, we run programs tackling climate action as a core focus in the summer. So I'm very, very excited to be doing this action forum in partnership with Capgemini, an organization committed to inspiring a new era of AI leadership. And together we are paving the way for more young people to make a difference in AI. Really excited to see Capgemini, obviously in partnership also with UNICEF, doing this work. And you're going to learn all about this today on the call. So for those of you who are new, Teens in AI is a multi-award-winning social impact initiative. We launched at the United Nations AI for Good Global Summit back in 2018. And since then, we already reached 23,000 young people in 101 countries around the world. So we have a lot of young people learning about AI for impact, and not only are they tackling climate, but a lot of other social issues and causes. And of course, it's very, very exciting to be here today to celebrate also the winners of one of the biggest challenges Capgemini runs annually. And we're definitely going to hear from them later on. Next slide. All right, so in today's session, as I mentioned, we will be learning about how agentic AI can help develop green skills. So those of you who don't know about green skills, definitely tune in. David will be talking about green skills and green careers. We're going to learn about how to foster sustainable career paths or career pathways. And hopefully this will leave you all inspired, as you will also hear from the winners of the Capgemini's Global Data Science Challenge. And this will give you a real example of how to apply AI for something really impactful like climate. And of course, you will have a chance to share your feedback, your thoughts, your questions. We'll have about 10 minutes left towards the end for you to ask questions that you might have for any of the speakers, including the winners of this year's challenge. So be curious and open-minded. And of course, stay tuned until the very end, because there will be some exciting discounts and giveaways from us at Teens in AI to celebrate, this November month. So keep an eye on that code towards the end. So to introduce the speakers, we have a few really amazing speakers with us today. We've got Guillaume Gérard, who is Head of AI Insights and Data based in France at Capgemini, who has over a decade of experience helping public and private sector organizations to design, deploy, and scale transformative AI solutions. We also have today David Ponnet, hopefully I'm pronouncing all names correctly, who leads UNICEF's Global Volunteer Initiative and Green Rising, mobilizing millions of young people just like you worldwide to tackle climate action and create pathways to green skills, jobs, and ventures. So it's really, really exciting partnership between Capgemini and UNICEF. And of course, as I said, we've got two winners this year to celebrate that win. They participated in this global challenge run by Capgemini internally. And it's a fantastic way to inspire entrepreneurship, innovation, and of course, see colleagues tackle big problems like climate change. And I know I'll tell you a little bit more about this global challenge a bit later when it's time for Sweta and Dennis to speak. But first and foremost, we've got a poll for you, and we wanted to learn from you. And I know my colleague will open up the poll before I read that question out. But it would be nice as a warm-up. What do you think agentic means in the context of AI? So if you have any thoughts already, there are 4 options for you. Is it an autonomous decision-making? Is it fast computing? Is it human-like emotions? Or is it data storage? What do you think it is? And we're going to give you a couple of minutes, or maybe only a minute, to very quickly select what you think it is. And I know my colleague on the call, Alana, will know what the responses were like. Right. Alana, do we have any insights?
Yes, we do.
We do. Okay, great. So we have some questions, some answers coming up. What did the majority select? I'm very, very curious to know.
So 73% had said that autonomous decision making was the context of AI for agentic AI, and then we had human-like emotions. Actually, people are still filling in their answers, so the results are being changed live right now. We now are at 75% on decision making, and human-like emotions account for 25%.
Okay, Guillaume, I think this is a great way to bring you. So yes, I can see there is this sort of between autonomous decision-making and human-like emotions. What do you think of that? And this is a great way to kind of introduce you and your next session. Go for it.
Yeah, thank you very much. So nice to meet you, everyone. So basically, both answers were quite correct. I mean, the first one is, of course, about automation. When we talk about agentic, what we want to do is to use AI to automate processes. But I like also the human emotion stuff, because in the end, when we want to automate something, of course, we want it to be like as human-like as possible. So yeah, but both of them are quite relevant. What I will try to do first is to explain you a bit about what is agentic AI and why it's a big thing now. So basically, a simple definition, but AI agents are digital co-workers. So co-workers mean we want them to achieve some work for us, who can think. So we want them to be able to think and have some reasoning. Second, plan. So they also should be able to plan the actions that they should take. And finally, act. So act means it's not only about giving you insights, it's also about taking actions, which makes it a game changer. It's not only about giving insights to people, but also acting instead of people or for people. So I'm pretty sure all of you know about LLMs. So basically the algorithms that power ChatGPT and other other Gen AI tools. The principle is quite similar. Basically, what we have at the core of the system is something that helps them to reason, so to have reasoning. It's basically something that we are calling now reasoning models. And what we expect from these models is not necessarily to generate stuff, but more to be able to understand a task and split it in subtasks to make it achievable by the AI. Then, of course, if they want to be able to take some actions, they need some tools, because we want them to be able to interact in a certain ecosystem. So we should provide them tools so that they can take those actions. A super important thing is the guardrails that you can see in green. Basically, what is a guardrail? It's something that prevents the AI from behaving in a bad manner. So basically, we will explain them what they shouldn't do. For example, if you want to build something with a human in the loop, because we want the human to be the validator of the action, then one guardrail could be to tell them never take an action without asking a human first. And finally, we also want them to be able to have access to some knowledge and data, because there is no AI without data. And basically, the data is all the knowledge that the AI can access to take actions. And of course, if the quality of the data is bad, then the action will be bad. So data quality is a big thing in data and AI in general. So I hope it makes it clear. Next slide, please. Okay. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure all of you have heard about the impact of AI on environments and also on ethic and all those kind of sustainable topics, basically. So sustainability is not only about environments. It's a broader topic. It's about environment, of course, but also about economy, about social. So when we build something, we want to build it in a way that the AI itself is sustainable. The impact is super big because when we use AI models, under the hood, you have some GPUs, you have some machines that are running, and those machines are consuming energy. And energy, of course, if you want energy, you need to build this energy. So depending on the way you are creating the energy, the impact is bigger. It can be bigger or small, but whenever you use some models, you have to keep in mind that it's consuming some energy. So the impact has to be moderated. So sustainable AI is something that aims to build and deploy AI systems that are environmentally, socially, and ethically responsible. And it's something that we bring into this challenge. We want the people to use AI for sustainability, but also we want the system itself to be sustainable. So there are some good practices when you do AI. First, you want to minimize the energy and the resource consumption. So there are a lot of different models on the market. So you want to use the ones that are the smallest, so you can have less impact. Second, you want to ensure the transparency, fairness, and all the data governance around your solution to make sure that it's transparent for the end user. Third, you want it to be human-centric and ethical. So since those AI should take actions and also have some reasoning, then you want this reasoning to be as ethical as possible to avoid to create some problems for the people. So yeah, there are a lot of good practices that have been used by our winning team since it was something that we asked. But also we have AI for sustainability, which means AI can serve in a certain way sustainability. So either help to reduce the emission of some activities, but also to bring some equity to some activities. And that's exactly something that we wanted to bring with this challenge that I will tell you about in the next slides. But yeah, basically AI can help a lot also in bringing some sustainability in some processes. In the bottom of the slide, you can see some figures about the impact of AI on environments. So yeah, keep in mind every time you are generating an image, every time you are prompting something, under the hood, it's like a lot of machines that are used, and you are consuming some energy, and the impact on the planet is not zero. So yeah, you have to keep it in mind. Next slide. So every year since 8 years now, Capgemini is doing a global data science challenge. So it's something that we organize for all Capgemini employees, and every year it's for an NGO. So basically, our goal is to do data and AI for good. And this year we were super happy to partner with UNICEF to deliver a solution that aim to help them to bring some sustainable messages to young people. And we have also partnered with two technology players. First of them is AWS, and second is Mistral AI. So AWS for the infra part and Mistral AI for the models. And I will tell you a little bit more about this challenge. Next slide, please. So I'm pretty sure, I hope you know that climate crisis is no longer a distant threat. So it's something that is super important. And a lot of studies show that young people are feeling pressured by this crisis. I mean, there are a lot of anxiety, but also those same young people, they are ready to act, so to take actions and help to moderate the impact of this climate crisis. And it's exactly what the UNICEF want to help, so help those young people to act. So what we wanted to do through this challenge is to design something that can help UNICEF to support them through their Green Rising initiative, which aims to mobilize more than 20 million people by 2026 on those climate action topics. And basically, what we wanted to do is to bring on the table an agentic AI solution that can help the young people to understand and also find some opportunity for their career. Next slide, please. So this solution had like many different ambitions. First one is to be able to provide personalized career guidance to the young people. Something that is tailored for them, not something super generic. So depending on their background, their goals, what they would like to do, the AI should adapt and help them to find the best career guidance. Second, the accessible mentorship. So being a mentor is something that takes time. So it's super comfortable when you can deploy a solution that is 24/7 available and can provide some guidance to the people. Third, it has to integrate green awareness. So the goal is not only to help them to find the good career path, but also to raise awareness and say, if you want to work in this domain, there are some green opportunities. And yeah, so the solution should embed the green awareness all along the way. So yeah, a little problem. Okay. It's okay. And also we want it to be scalable. So since the ambition are super high, we want to help and to support millions of young people. We want the solution also to be scalable. So it has to be something that can be deployed super like worldwide, basically. So we started with Brazil, since there are some community hubs, and I'm pretty sure we will hear about it. But yeah, it has to be scalable so to be able to help millions of people. Next slide. And as I told you, so it's not only about deploying something that is super powerful, because we want to use AI to bring some awareness on green topics. But if the solution itself is like super energy consuming, then it's not something good. So of course, the evaluation criteria of the solution was about accuracy of guidance, but also about the eco-responsibility of the approach, and of course the user experience, to make sure that we have something that is engaging for young people. And yeah, now we would like to invite David to tell you a little bit more about everything I told you about the ambition of UNICEF. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My audio is working. Okay, let's jump into it. And thanks for the introduction. And you heard a little bit about Green Rising. So if we can go into the slides, let me tell you what Green Rising is. It's it's an organization-wide initiative within UNICEF to support next slide, to support young people who are already rising to the moment. So for a lot of young people in many communities across the globe, taking action to address the climate crisis, the environmental crisis, is a matter of survival. So they're already leading climate action in their communities. Green Rising, importantly, serves a dual purpose. One is to support young people to continue to contribute to community resilience, but equally important, it's an investment in young people and their ability to build relevant skills for the emerging green and circular economies, to give them opportunities to start green ventures, and really to equip them, position them for success. So it's an investment in both young people as well as in the planet and communities. So we've done some work together with Capgemini, so we know that young people are extremely concerned across the globe, country after country, about the climate crisis. But 72% believe there's still time to address the crisis. However, only 44% feel equipped, that they've got the skills to succeed in the emerging green economy. And so the Green Rising initiative is really about supporting action, skills building, leadership, and ultimately sustainable livelihoods for young people. So we're bringing together focus on sustainable planet with sustainable livelihoods. So climate justice and economic justice. Next slide. So we very much see the skills transition, or the green transition rather, as a skills transition. Again, in the survey research that Capgemini conducted, which also confirms some earlier research that had been done, 61% of youth say green skills create new opportunities. So we feel that with the Green Rising initiative, we're really engaging young people where they are. There's a high demand for climate literacy, for STEM skills, for digital skills. Our focus is really about giving young people an opportunity to learn through doing. So on the understanding backed by evidence that hands-on action builds employability opportunities and skills. And we know, and we keep seeing this in community after community, country after country, that youth want purpose-driven work and clear pathways to green jobs. Next slide. So why do skills, well, especially green skills, matter so much for the next generation? A lot of us know this, but the climate and sustainability are reshaping many, many sectors, almost every sector of the global economy. Young people see green skills, as I said before, as pathways to jobs, to income and purpose. So there's an opportunity to bring together income and purpose. Again, we're trying to move away from what we think is a false choice between either profit or planet or purpose. We want to bring it all together. Demand, of course, continues to rise for climate literacy, STEM, digital fluency, and systems thinking. And what we know is that the crisis that is upon us right now is such that we will only succeed. We're by no means suggesting that young people are responsible for the crisis, but as they rise to the moment, starting green ventures, taking resilience building actions in their communities, we recognize that their leadership is going to be essential if we're going to successfully tackle the crisis. And so we want to support more young people to do more, on the view that it is through their leadership it can inspire the broader based culture and behavior change and systems change that we need to see, and in some instances may even shame or serve as effective advocacy to get those actors who are responsible to do much more in terms of mitigation or decarbonization. Next slide. So Green Rising is really focused on three pillars of action or youth engagement and opportunity. So one is young people taking action on environmental issues that are of particular relevance, salience in their communities. So it can mean planting trees, restoring land. In places like Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia, where there's an extremely high incidence of air pollution, we've got examples of young people monitoring air pollution and then warning family members and community members on days of high toxicity and danger, and telling them these are the things you can do to help protect yourself. They're doing a lot of taking a lot of action in the waste management space, in the renewable energy and energy conservation space, and the water conservation space, and in all these different projects that we've supported, Not only are they delivering tangible, measurable impact in the communities where they activate, but they're building skills as they do it and positioning themselves for greater professional and career success. The other pillar that we're supporting is more explicitly in the livelihood space. So supporting young people to develop relevant skills such that they can take green jobs, but also importantly, working with a lot of young people to create both large and small green ventures um, that generate income opportunities for themselves and often for their peers. And so we've got lots of examples of young people doing things like converting bio-waste into fuel and using that to generate income, harvesting wind in innovative ways. For example, in Bangladesh, we've got an example of young people who set up turbines along highways and using the wind generated in highways to produce energy and then sell it into the grid. And finally, the third pillar of action is around system strengthening and advocacy. So we're working with young people as they run campaigns, anywhere from targeting international fora such as COP all the way to local campaigns. So, for example, in Brazil, we supported young people, and they ran a successful campaign targeting their municipal mayor to close down a toxic landfill in their community. And the idea is that these efforts contribute directly to positive environmental impact in the communities where young people successfully advocate. And again, as they're organizing and doing these things, they're building relevant skills in addition to technical skills, the transferable skills that employers say is ever important in the emerging 21st century economy. Next slide. So just quickly, some examples of the work that we've been able to support with Capgemini's partnership. So in India, young people have been trained in regenerative agriculture, in water conservation, in tree planting, and as they're taking actions in these areas in their communities, but it's also leading. So first they learn about it, they take action, and it has led to them discovering opportunities that then they can then act on, and in things such as green microenterprises, and nurseries that they've been able to create, as well as small composting businesses that again provide an environmental good as they're generating income for themselves. Next slide. Brazil, I mentioned it before. We've got a great program called Entra no Clima, where young people across the Amazon and in northern Brazil and in the semi-arid regions, they lead biodiversity actions and cleanups, whether it's beaches or in parks in their communities. They're creating local sustainable food systems. They're supporting environmental education for peers, and they've formed these climate action clubs linked to green livelihoods that have sprouted up now, I think, in over 1,000 municipalities in Brazil, and they meet at least once a month with specific themes around which they activate. And here's an example. In the slide, you see a calendar of activities for one such club. So it's a great way to get them to build skills, take action, and start forming outfits that are contributing to measurable results, and again, in the communities where they activate. Next slide. And then final example, Nigeria, where there are all kinds of vulnerabilities. We've focused especially on mobilizing young people in areas that are susceptible to floods. So young people are taking action to help build resistance to floods. They've also, in some instances, constituted early warning systems so that when we know the floods are coming, we've got young people alerting community members so that the community is more prepared. They've been engaged in things like tree planting, recycling, other forms of waste management. And again, their activities have evolved into tree nurseries, into recycling hubs, and local environmental service jobs. So again, we really see that pathway of action, skills, leadership, livelihoods. Next slide. So as I approach the end of my presentation, just to want to emphasize that green skills and the hands-on opportunities and skills building that young people are gaining through this initiative are really opening doors to real opportunity. As young people, and we've got numerous examples, are restoring ecosystems, reducing waste, as they're creating pathways for themselves and their peers into work, entrepreneurship, and leadership. And this partnership with Capgemini, and we hope to continue to grow our partnerships, are really helping to scale what young people are doing. So it's about adding that additional and significant boost to help them get to the next level. Next slide. So as I said, Capgemini is obviously a really key partner for us, and we're excited that we continue to push forward with them. You see a picture here of the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley. She's one of the great champions for the cause of environmental justice and for the cause of sustainable livelihoods for young people. Excited to say that this year, Mia Mottley joined as the global chair of Green Rising. She is really perhaps the leading voice in this space. So we were in Barbados in June to welcome her on board and to launch Green Rising in Barbados with her leadership now, and she challenged us that we should increase our ambition for Green Rising. So I think, as Guillaume had said, the goal was to activate 20 million young people by the end of 2026. We're now going up to 100 million by 2030. So Green Rising is very much rising. Initiatives like GDSC extend real opportunities for youth to innovate. And we look forward to continuing to work together to support young people to build, test, and apply climate solutions that, again, help preserve and steward the planet and the communities, as they also help young people on the pathway to sustainable jobs. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, David and Guillaume. Fantastic, fantastic examples, David, from you, how young people are innovating and tackling problems local to them, but also with scalability in mind. I think this is really important. And also, Guillaume, thank you for reminding us what it actually costs the environment every time we use LLMs, generative AI, and other systems, because of course everything comes at a cost, and how can we bridge the two? But it appears to me that it's only through partnerships like this one, Capgemini and UNICEF, that we could actually make a real difference to the world, right? So this is absolutely fantastic to see this partnership grow in this way, and the Green Rising going from strength to strength, 100 million by 2030. That's quite an ambition, and I think it's amazing to see how we can actually get to this, and a realistic goal it is, in my view, as well. All right, I know we have another poll coming up. For those of you on this call, let's see what you think. Shall we open it up? All right, so this is the second poll. What kind of green careers interest you the most? We have renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, environmental science, eco-friendly tech. And if you're not sure yet, it's I am still exploring. And the second question is, what barriers do you think young people face when trying to pursue sustainable careers? So we're going to give you a bit more time with this one, particularly for the second question, because it's probably will require you to think and input some answer. A sentence or two would be appreciated. So Alana, how many minutes?
So for this, we'll give everyone about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Start next session.
All right. So In 5 minutes, we're going to read that data and see what kind of green careers are interesting to you all, and an answer to the second question as well.
Just to let everyone know, the polls are anonymous, so you don't have to worry in terms of what you're responding. I'll be sharing the answers at the end. There won't be any names.
And it says host and panelists cannot vote, so I can't even respond. But that's fine. And of course, if you have any questions, you can actually put them into the Q&A that's available to everyone on this call. You're welcome to prepare your questions. You could ask your questions to any of the panelists today, either David or Guillaume, or we will also have 2 more speakers presenting very soon on their winning solutions. So do add your questions in the Q&A. And this can be questions related to Green Rising, to how potentially you could get involved, but also question to the Global Data Science Challenge as well, or what the solution entailed. So any questions that you might want to ask to our panelists today would be welcome.
All right, there are just 2 minutes left to share your answers, so please do get involved, and we are already starting to see some answers there already. Thank you so much. All right, so we'll just wait for 1 more minute. It's your last chance to let us know what you think in terms of green careers, sustainability. Amazing. So does anyone need more time? You can just let us know in the chat.
All right, where are we with all of the answers, Alana?
We have a few, so if you haven't had a chance to respond, you are welcome to let us know in the chat. I am going to end the poll now, and I'm going to share the results. So for the question, what kind of green career interests you most? The eco-friendly tech was 50%, while 25% was on renewable energy, and some people were still exploring. And we have some answers for barriers, but they are actually anonymous, so we can't see them. So we won't be able to share it on this call at the moment.
Amazing, amazing. Well done for participating, and well done for answering this poll. And now on to the 2 speakers we have as guests today, the winners of the Global Data Science Challenge. And for those of you who've never heard about this challenge before, something I was really excited to learn a few years ago when we just started our partnership with Capgemini. So the Global Data Science Challenge was actually launched in 2016 and has evolved into an annual purpose-driven hackathon. And you know, we're all about hackathons, and we love hackathons as a way to bring communities together. So it's always exciting to have corporate companies like Capgemini also do their internal hackathons. And the purpose of this is, of course, again, to bring Capgemini teams from all over the world and get them innovating for purpose. And so participants explore real world data science and AI user cases, honing their skills. So there is still a lot to learn for everyone, even working at in big corporate companies like Capgemini. And they use the skills to collaborate. I imagine you're probably collaborating across borders, not only in your teams locally, which is always really exciting to see, because this is how we meet other people, we get to know other cultures, and of course, when we find something purposeful to innovate for and to solve for, I think it's a great way to bring everyone together. And of course, GDSC has become a proven driver for impactful innovation. I always recommend hackathons as a way to innovate as a company, but there is something very special about them where you can actually unleash entrepreneurial sort of spirit of the community, and it brings everyone together to tackle something very meaningful and impactful. So Capgemini has had some amazing additions. I know I've seen some really amazing results of their river blindness hackathon a couple of years ago. They've also used AI to automate the identification of sperm whales, to creating solutions for, like I said, river blindness, from protecting insects biodiversity by improving accuracy in the identification and monitoring of insects through sound recognition. Now that's amazing. And of course, it's for the first time Capgemini also joining to tackle problems related to climate, and bringing young people together. So this year, the winners are, and you can see their names already on the screens. So Swetha and Dennis, I know you're on the call with us. It will be really great to hear from you both. What happened in that hackathon? What motivated you? How did you find that problem? I think design thinking, system thinking is something we're also passionate about, and what that solution looked like as well. So it's an opportunity for the young people on the call to also learn, because they will have a hackathon coming up also in February, March, and we're anticipating 3,000 young people to join us this year. So there's always an opportunity for them to learn from you. So it's over to you, Swetha and Dennis.
Yeah, thanks, Elena, for that wonderful introduction, and thanks also in general for having us. I think we are very humbled to be able to present our solution today, and tell in general a bit about our journey in Capgemini's Global Data Science Challenge. So maybe first off, right? So as participants of this challenge, we of course usually compete against each other, and from what I heard, right, in February, March, you'll do this as well in your hackathon. But for us, the biggest learnings actually came from not from competing against each other, but from collaborating, right, and from sharing knowledge with each other. And that's what we'll also try to do here today as well, to share our approach in the hope that it potentially serves as an inspiration for the solutions that you are going to build, right? And so we were very happy to participate, especially in this year's challenge with UNICEF as a partner. And I think David already brilliantly shared what the mission of Green Rising is. Of course, the solution that we are building is only like a tiny part of that huge puzzle, right? But hopefully this is nonetheless meaningful. So let's jump directly into our solution. So Shweta and I will try to give you a short introduction into what we've built and into what we hope to continue building potentially in the future. I'll do the first part and then hand over to Shweta for the second part. So as I think Guillaume already teasered, so the goal of this year's challenge was to provide young people with a tool that allows them to find trainings and jobs that fit their interest and shows them a path towards a green career. So to really be in line with the mission of Green Rising. So in general, help young people turn climate ambition into climate action through guided and explainable recommendations. So that might sound potentially like an easy enough task, but as I can assure you that is far from the case. And in the 6 weeks that we worked on this one, this was quite a tough nut to crack, right? So finding a job or a training for someone that actually helps them achieve their goals and to develop their potential requires considering a lot of variables, right? So how to think about this problem, right? So, and Elena talked about design thinking, problem solving. So maybe to address this at least a little bit, right? So as part of the challenge, we had access to a range of job offers and training course descriptions, so a lot of raw text. We also had the opportunity to conduct interviews with a set of personas. So again, a lot of text that we're dealing with. So that actually meant for us that we have a lot of unstructured information that we somehow need to process and work with, right? So that was the starting point, right? That was the source of information that we had. So and in general, I think that's something that you probably already heard. So a common rule of thumb for a machine learning project is that like 80% of all the work that you're doing is just about finding, cleaning, and organizing the data that you work with. And I think this challenge that we had this year like brilliantly underlines this. So let's deep dive into this whole part of data wrangling, data analysis a bit more. So and I'm not going to try to read through this whole slide, right? So instead, I'm going to try to focus on just 2 points today. So like the first point, I would just call don't reinvent the wheel, right? So when it comes to also to this data wrangling part, I mean, so Shweta and I, we realized that there are a lot of ways to approach this, right? So you can basically with this raw unstructured data, there's like a lot of ways you could potentially solve this. But I mean, one of the thoughts that we had was that we didn't necessarily need to start at zero, right? So there are already a lot of international organizations that already went through a similar task as the one that we have here at hand, right? So finding a job, finding a fitting training for young people. So that would usually be job agencies, but actually UNICEF itself also has already a lot of data and also a framework to address this. So we looked at this and tried to come up with a data structure for this challenge that makes a lot of sense. So really, in this regard, define the work domains like agriculture, food industry, paper industry, right? That makes sense for this challenge. Conceptualize the distinct job roles that could occur. Also identify what kind of parameters could be relevant here, right? So is a language barrier relevant? Is something like whether the person wants to work remotely or on site relevant, things like that, right? And then also a big part of the whole solutioning was also getting to work with skills, right? So what is actually a skill? What is a technical skill? What is a soft skill? Which kind of things are actually relevant when looking for a job, right? And so there's a lot of granular paths that you can take. And that's what we try to do by actually building on top of the work that had already been done, right? So following this principle of just standing on the shoulders of giants, right? So this is the one part that we looked at. And I think that's, for us, was a great way to increase our solution, right? To not try to reinvent something that has already been done on a larger scale by other organizations. So, and the second learning then brings us away from the whole data wrangling part and more to the right side of the slide that you can see here. So, and the second part that I would highlight, so even though this whole hackathon and challenge was all about LLMs and agentic AI, our reasoning was that maybe we don't use LLMs for everything, right? So maybe it even makes sense to combine LLMs with other tools to make it even more powerful. So while in this year's challenge, you could definitely try to use large language models and agents at every step of the solution, we instead decided to pursue an approach that combines the strengths of large language models with the robustness of knowledge graphs, right? So this is point 3 that you see here. So in this kind of approach usually is called something like a neurosymbolic approach. So that means we have these neural networks on the one hand that are very good at pattern recognition, but you also have these knowledge graphs on the other hand that are very good at organizing the data. So what is a knowledge graph? Basically, it's just a network of entities and their relationships that allow you to connect the data meaningfully, perform searches, and then for this challenge, actually generate recommendations, right? So these knowledge graphs are not the newest technological advancement, but something that made sense for this given use case. And I think that greatly helped us provide a solution that also addressed some of these usual issues that you face when you work with LLMs, right? So things like hallucinations. So the knowledge graph helped us build something that was a bit more robust there. And so in the end, we ended up with a solution where we use these LLM agents for user interaction and information extraction. So we build a chatbot that conducts the interview with the users in a transparent, flexible manner. That also showed the users, okay, this is what the agent understood so far. Are you in line with this, right? So to also make it really transparent to the user and giving him the option to say, okay, actually, I meant something else, and then the user can then also readjust, right? And then for the actual task matching, we, as I said, used this knowledge graph, right? And that actually gave us 3 benefits. It was actually faster than using a very large language model. It was much more hallucination-free, as I said already. And I think that's an important point. It was also computationally cheaper, right? So it didn't consume any tokens, and it was also from the energy side much cheaper than using an LLM in this regard. So in the end, it also produced less emissions, and I think that helped also build a sustainable solution. So and I think this was in the end also our overall goal, right? To build a sustainable solution, a solution that is transparent, trustworthy, right? And also robust. To highlight this first point again, the whole sustainability part, Shweta will deep dive into this one a bit more now.
Thank you, Dennis. Okay, so before I dive into sustainability, the whole sustainability, how we integrated within our tool, I would like to give a big round of applause to everybody who's listening to this session, because to all the young people who are in this session listening to it, I think that's already a testimony that you have taken the first step towards a very serious future, understanding the need for a sustainable future. I think that's really awesome, and I would like to give a big round of applause to you guys for that. Okay, so having said that, we could go to the next slide. And let's see what we did in the sustainability area. Okay, so to lead by the example and to uphold what we stand for. So we integrated sustainability monitoring as part of our workflow. So we had 2 key performance indicators that we wanted to monitor across the workflow per call. And as an example, we attached here one graph that you're seeing, which has various tips. Basically, it shows how the carbon emission and energy consumption was dropping as the system was scaling, right? So we knew our system would scale, but at the same time, the system performance is not impacting. So you could actually visualize how any kind of transaction that you're doing with the solution is monitored as you're working with it. So this would give you a very transparent approach on how a system was built. And as I said, it was really important for us to lead by example. So if I'm doing a tool, and if we are working on a solution which is basically encouraging and inspiring young people to contribute towards a sustainable future, we also wanted to show that we are also developing a sustainable solution, and that was the first step taken here. And I think regarding the interview workflow and knowledge graph, Dennis has already given a very good explanation on why we leaned toward knowledge graph, because it was clearly a sustainable alternative to the traditional LLMs. Now, with traditional LLMs, we know the carbon footprints are really higher. We have higher energy consumption, but with knowledge graph, we could make it even, we could have a more controlled approach towards it. And one thing that I would like to highlight regarding the user intent, like the system was intelligently designed to ensure that it was making conversations to, it was only asking questions which was relevant to the conversation, which means it is reducing the, computation time, which basically helps in reducing the carbon emission and energy consumption. And we are shortening the response time. So basically, at every point, we were making sure that the efficiency is maintained and the user experience is increased, and overall the carbon emission and energy consumption is kept under control. So we were able to check this box with choosing the right technology with right approach, because in today's market you would get several plethora of options, right? So you have to make a decision as to what technology or what method or what factors would really help you to build a sustainable solution. And that exactly helped us, I guess, to come at the top of our competition and kind of represent what we were really standing for. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. So obviously, we're looking at a better future of this solution, right? So our outlook definitely centers strengthening our partnership and also aligning to the broader sustainability goals. Without any question, one of our main goal is obviously integrating into UNICEF's Green Rising initiative, basically help them and contribute to achieve their goal of meeting now, which is now 100 million by 2030. So if that happens, we would be really proud and happy that we could achieve that through our solution. But in order to achieve that, we have to make also our solution scalable and flexible, and basically increase its flexibility by integrating Capgemini. I'm specifying Capgemini because we work from Capgemini, so it is Gen AI framework that we have. So again, every organization have certain Gen AI frameworks, and we would like to leverage on that and build a more robust governance and compliant solution. So I think Dennis has already pointed very well that instead of doing anything from scratch, we should, or rather inventing the wheel, always try to use what we have. And that's exactly what we are also focusing on, basically using some, in-house applications that or cloud native solutions, which is available of on over the counter, and then use them as a solution to basically help improve our time that we would be using to deploy it to the market. Okay, one of the key things that I would like to really highlight here is that in our outlook, although it's part of the outlook, but I think one of the message that I would like to give to all the teams out here is always make sure that the data privacy remains at the crux of any solution that you develop. I mean, that is something which is non-negotiable, and it is foundational to anything and everything that we develop in Capgemini. And I think that could be also a message to you all to make sure that it is at the center of whatever solutions you develop, because it's really important that without the right guardrails or without the right security, you would always put something at risk. So that is exactly, as an outlook, what we are also looking at is leveraging, you know, um, some security guardrails or security solutions that is available to make it more robust and compliant, trustworthy solution. Yeah, and I think with that, we are happy to say that we were able to produce a solution which ticked most of the parameters that the solution, this use case was looking for. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was amazing to listen to, and what a great example. Thank you, Sweta and Dennis. What did you find the most challenging in this hackathon?
Well, that's a good question. So I think overall, yeah, as I mentioned in the beginning, right? So really understanding the problem, I think was the most challenging part, right? So really thinking about what what the problem actually is, and finding a way to pin this down to something that is like that you can grasp, right? And then from there, plan the next steps, right? I think so that the beginning was really the most challenging part, and then making something meaningful out of all the data that you are getting, and then from there, it step by step gets easier, I would say.
Amazing. And how long did it take you? How long was this whole challenge? Did it last a couple of days, or was it a week long?
So actually, it was around 6 weeks, right?
6
So
weeks.
yeah, and I mean we still have to work, during the day, right? So it's mostly like nightly hours that you have to work on this one. But I mean, it's an exciting challenge. So I mean, we were happy to invest the time, and yeah.
Must have been very hard to combine your work, your life, right? Your family, but also this challenge. So well done. It's incredible. So I am waiting for a few more questions and feedback from younger people. I think, can we be given this project? I think some people were looking forward to seeing a demo and hoping that it actually reaches them as well. I think this is a fantastic project, and feedback from me, and I judge and see a lot of projects, whether at startup level or young people. What I really appreciate is you thinking about sustainability, data privacy, and ethics from the very start. And of course, this is one of the most important essential elements, as you mentioned, in your project. So I really appreciate that because, of course, when we train our teenagers and young people, ethics and responsible technology, responsible AI is very much in the at the heart of everything we do. So I really wanted to see that and highlight that as well to the young people watching this, because we will be expecting a similar analysis from everyone in our upcoming hackathons in February and March as well. Any other questions? Anyone wants to ask any questions from either of our panelists, because we have Guillaume and David also still on the call. So all questions are welcome, because I think this is a fantastic, fantastic project, and I'm really hoping that it reaches a lot of young people. And we're here to help as well, David, because I've never heard about a UNICEF Unlimited Generation before, but I'll be reaching out to you to see what we can do and whether some of the resources we already have could be of help. So Shweta, Dennis, I hope you can integrate some of our courses into your knowledge graph and offering, because they're aimed at young people, teenagers, and hopefully these are the young people who will benefit from your solution as well. I can see some mentions and the young people joining us from Tunisia and Turkey and Nigeria. But if you have any questions, still, this is a really good time to ask them. All right. But I don't think you will be receiving the project very soon, just yet, Aaron. So I expect, Shweta, Dennis, you will be continuously building this project. How long do you think it's going to take you to finalize this? I know it's an iterative process. None of the technologies we're using these days have been built in one day. Rome wasn't built in one day, we say as well. But what is your estimation? When do you think this will go live?
So I think there's still a bit more planning that needs to be done. But even if that's not clear, I think we're planning to publish the code that we've generated and open source this. So anyone who's then interested in building something on top of this can then do this. So that's
amazing. That's perfect. And it's really great that other people can also build on top of it. So please try and keep everything open source so that nobody needs to pay for the expensive Azure or AWS and whatnot. Okay, so I've got a few questions in here and thinking which one to take at the moment. How do you make sure the AI's energy use does not conflict with sustainability goals? There you go. Who wants to take that question?
I mean, I can take it. So it's pretty much what I said at the beginning. Yeah, you have like sustainable AI and AI for sustainability. So basically, you have to find the right balance between the two when you are deploying those solutions. So if you are doing something for green, obviously you want something that will lower the emission, and you want to monitor its own emission to make sure that it's not bigger than what you are reducing. So basically you have to find the right balance. And sometime, as for this project, what we aim to do is to empower people. Yeah, the impact could be greater than the impact of the solution itself. So that's really the philosophy. Like every time you have to think about what is my consumption, how can I lower it, monitor it, and then make sure that my impact is greater than those emissions.
Excellent, excellent. So I hope that was answered. How can we make existing AI models more sustainable, focusing on the amount of resources needed to use in order to operate this system? It's like an elephant in the room question, right? I think not an easy one. Who wants to take that one? Shweta?
Yeah, definitely. This is not an easy one to answer because we have so many different opportunities right now, and AI is there to fix everything of it. And at the same time, we are advocating that we need to reduce the energy consumption. We have to reduce the carbon emission and basically approach towards sustainability. So I think it's the choice that we have to make based on what solution we are looking for. Part of this, Guillaume has already answered. It's a. I mean, whenever you're building something, you just have to figure out what makes more sense for your solution. Pick the right technologies, pick the right options that you have in the market, and build around it. It's not something that I think we can answer with just one answer for this question.
And so I can see my team is collating questions from other sources as well, because we're live also on YouTube. So she has got this question from somebody who lives in Oman. Says, I live in Oman. I'm especially interested in ocean protection. How can AI help us learn green skills to protect our seas and marine life? That could be another challenge next year for Capgemini. Who's going to answer? Dennis, would you like to take that one?
That's a very good question, right? So, and I think you already mentioned that in previous GDSC rounds, right? So something like ocean protection was already part of it, right? Not necessarily related to helping people learn green skills, but rather related to improve biodiversity monitoring, right? So something like monitoring sperm whales and reducing the amount of manual work that's needed in order to capture how many animals, etc., are in a certain region. So I would say biodiversity monitoring is a great area where AI will play an important role and is already playing an important role. And that's where potentially learning about AI will help you also get a job potentially, right?
Exactly. And if you're still under the age of 19, please do join us in the summer. We will be tackling climate using AI and data science. And this will actually be one of the topics for us. So if you would like to build something, we don't have 6 weeks, we only have 5 days, unfortunately. But I promise you're going to build something really impactful and meaningful, even in 5 days. Typically, it's actually only 2 days. So 6 weeks, you can change the world, right, Dennis? It's
Definitely.
a long enough time. You can build something really amazing like what the team has built. So I've got another question, and this is related to careers in AI. So a very new person here. They say, what I want is advice on how to kickstart my AI career. Are there any available resources or opportunities offered? My plan is to do a master at least the basics this month and go in depth in December, just to be ready enough for the hackathons mentioned in February and March. Okay, this is definitely a young person from our community who is already preparing for this, which is amazing. So I'm going to maybe ask David to answer this question. What careers are there, maybe green and AI, to kind of keep them within this sort of sustainability?
I mean, so the short answer is yes, they are. It's a fast-moving, dynamic space. So I don't have a generic answer. The way we do this is we start to run programs in countries and we work. So look us up online, Generation Unlimited, part of UNICEF. We work closely with industry and with government and with young people in the countries and communities where we operate to support skills building that corresponds directly to market need, market demand. And so therefore we work with companies, with employers to do that so that we can match. And that's the short answer. And of course, we're also using AI to create bespoke learning modules. So if you want to learn about particular issues within sustainability and you have particular interests that you want to pursue professionally, we can use AI both to customize both to your interest, but also to your skill level and knowledge level. So it's a fast moving area, but a lot that's happening. Back to you.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you, David. I've got one more question related to air quality in India. So how can AI help in changing the current situation of air quality, which is really bad in Delhi, India, where somebody's tuning in from today? Who would like to respond to this question? Who might perhaps have insights about this? Maybe, David, you have heard some interesting solutions.
I mean, I don't know about the solutions to reduce the air toxicity, the air pollution. I do know about equipping young people with the devices so that they can, and some of it leverages AI to monitor air quality day to day, even hour by hour. Then we have young people notifying people in their communities, hey, today's really dangerous. Here are 4 things you can do to protect yourself. On top of that, then we use that activation. We shine the spotlight on, look at how young people are monitoring air quality, alerting community members what they can do. By calling attention to it, that complements our advocacy efforts as we're meeting with government ministries and trying to get them to adopt policies that will enforce stricter controls on pollution emitters to bring down air pollution. So that's how we approach it.
Do you think the government in Delhi or in India will listen to young people? Do you have great user cases, David, when
if we can support, if young people clamor in big numbers, yes. So it's a collective action challenge. But where the number of young people organizing and clamoring is large enough, yes, they will listen.
Amazing. So maybe that's one solution to this problem. Obviously, we're
Elena,
not
if I may,
advocating. Yes,
if I may give a partial answer to this one. So one is definitely the reactive approach that the pollution is happening, and then we are using the AI models to kind of monitor it. The other would definitely, that I would like to encourage all our young people, is to use AI models also to build an awareness among the locals on how the usage of air conditioning or the traffic is potentially adding to the pollution. So I think I'm from India. I've lived there most of my life, and I do understand the serious need for people to be aware of very little things that has been overlooked on a daily basis. I think this is an opportunity to all the young people to take this on them who are really serious about this, and kind of bring on those awareness in terms of how usages of AI in the right way to indicate that, okay, this particular device is causing this much of emission. Okay, then you should know that what kind of regulation that you could put at individual level to kind of control it. I think one person takes steps in one house would kind of cascade to the next one. I think that those are the little proactive solutions that we could look at by adopting AI models.
Amazing. So we are actually due to wrap up. So thank you very much for all your questions. I'm going to take one last one and ask everyone to, in less than 30 seconds, if you can, tell us your thoughts on AI in 2027. Someone is asking. We're not even thinking 2026. Sorry, that's not enough. But 2027, what do you think is going to happen, David? In less than 30 seconds, if you can. And that is going to be the last question. If you have more questions, please send them our way, and we're going to ask the panelists via email. But please, David.
Agentic AI is going to be changing the way we do everything. That's my short answer. It is incredible what it can do, obviously, in terms of enhancing productivity and efficiency in so many ways. But there's also going to be a public conversation in 2027 about how do we make sure the guardrails stay firm, and how do we make sure that young people are still gaining the skills to be able to exercise critical judgment and thought. And again, to mitigate against the risks when they outsource thinking to AI. So dual phenomenon of greater reliance, but also more discussion on guardrails.
Amazing. Less than 30 seconds. Guillaume, go for
Yeah,
it.
great. So yeah, I'm quite an optimistic person. So I'm convinced that the AI and the IT in general can do a lot of good for the planet. So I'm super optimistic about what we can do, and totally agree with David. Like Agentic AI is an amazing tool that can transform so many things. So yeah, it's the right moment for to learn about AI and use AI for good.
Amazing. We actually have got a course coming up on Agentic AI. Keep an eye on this, guys, because it is going to be something we'll still be talking in 2027. And Swetha, what about you?
Okay, I think I completely resonate with what David and Guillaume has already mentioned. But one thing is have the clear boundary between using AI for what it needs to be used for and not completely relying on it. As long as we know that boundary, everything is going to be here for good.
Amazing. And Dennis, wrap us up.
Oh God. Let's see. So I would say, yeah, I fully agree with the points that have been raised already. I would say, I think agentic AI will play a very important role, but always think about whenever you address a problem, is agentic AI the only possible way, right? So also think about other potential ways how to address this. And I think this will be something that we also see in 2027, right? Gen AI will grow, but also the other areas will potentially grow.
Yes, and Agentic AI will not be able to solve all your problems. So please do keep that in mind, that it's the human agency that we need more than anything else. So on this note, I'm going to say thank you to all of our panelists. Thank you for being patient. We're actually 13 minutes over. Apologies for that. But if you're still with us, and I can see most of you are actually still with us, so I'm super happy to reveal the code. I think if you point your cameras onto that QR code, it should definitely teleport you to the course. The code for this month is very boring. It's just Teens in Action, NOV, standing for November, at the checkout, and you can benefit from 20% off all of the courses. We have free and paid courses, and if you're interested in the paid one, it will give you that discount. And of course, keep an eye on our climate action program. We do this every summer. Please do join us if you're passionate about this topic, and keep an eye on the Agentic course coming out in the new year. We're busy working on this right now with another partner of ours called Sage Foundation, and this is going to be a really exciting course. You really don't want to miss out that announcement. But thank you everyone for joining us today, and we'll be seeing you actually next week for another action forum. Please join us to hear about some of the dark ethical issues that we're having to grapple with in the world of AI, not only agentic AI, but in general. So it's going to be an exciting one that I will be hosting as well. So I'll see you all next week.